the other day I was talking to my daughter, and you know, she's 8 years old, right? And I was telling her how it was to be a kid growing up, because she likes to watch like intros of cartoons that, you know, I grew up on, that I would show her. And it really got me thinking, like, she would never get a chance to experience what it was like to wake up on Saturday mornings and get a chance to watch all these fabulous cartoons we were blessed with. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. On the weekdays, I did not want to wake up early for school, okay? I will intentionally not set my alarm clock, all right? But best believe, Friday night, I set that alarm clock because why? I wanted to wake up on time on Saturdays just so that I could watch all of the best cartoon shows, man. Again, I cannot emphasize and reinstate how big and how monumental Saturday morning cartoons was. You pull up a big bowl of cereal, mine was either Fruity Pebbles or Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You guys can let me know what was you guys' favorite cereal growing up. But yo, you get a big bowl of cereal, man, you sit there, and I will watch, you know, like the whole cartoon block, whether that's 3 hours or 4 hours before I, like, legit, I would try to do anything pertaining to my day, you know? That's how good it was when we were kids. But in this video, I wanted to rank like the top 4 cartoon blocks back in the day from the 1990s, okay? And I really want to just go down memory lane and just get a chance to talk and enjoy and just memorize about all these cartoon shows that, again, that as kids we were blessed with watching. Honestly, man, like in the 1990s and the 2000s, but really especially the peak years of Saturday morning cartoons was, you already know, like the early to mid 1990s, and you could say it was like freaking Monday Night War, right? Because like the Monday Night Wars, this was like the Saturday morning wars, okay? Because Fox Kids, ABC Kids, or well, Disney One Saturday morning at the time, Kids WB, okay? And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. CBS Saturday morning cartoons, like these were the big blocks that was trying to get all of our attentions as kids growing up, and it was just freaking phenomenal, man. The competition was great, and again, it spawned some of the best freaking cartoons we have ever seen, ever, like hands freaking down, and everybody can definitely agree on that. Now, I wanted to try to, how can I put it, be as less biased as possible when it comes to this video, because again, when you say Saturday morning cartoons, everybody's gonna say their favorite cartoon shows that they love to watch. So in this video, I came up with 4 categories, okay? Category number 1, I'm gonna judge it off of longevity, all right? How long was that cartoon block running for? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if that category may hold as much weight as all the other ones, but again, we're gonna, you know, that's category number 1. I'm trying to, you feel me? I'm trying to do something here, all right? Category number 2, hands down, I gotta go to TV ratings and the popularity with kids. All right, now you guys already know TV ratings was everything back in the day. All right, it's crazy to think that now it's all about streaming numbers, but those Nielsen TV ratings back then, it really determined what, you know, these broadcasters was putting out in front of the television for these kids growing up. So TV ratings was king. So we're gonna go off of that, and of course, like I said, popularity of kids, word of mouth, how kids was responding to what they was watching, right? Category number 3 goes to cultural impact. How big, how monumental some of these shows were that helped catapult some of these cartoon blocks up to, you know, get to where they're at, you know, nowadays, right? And just lasting appeal. How many iconic shows did this cartoon block freaking produce? Like, honestly, that might be like the most heavyweight category pertaining to this list, if I'm being honest with you guys. And then number 4 goes to how many toys was being sold. Now you guys may think, what the heck, toy sales? Listen up. A lot of times toy sales was more important than TV ratings for some of these broadcasters, because a lot of shows was literally made just to sell toys. Okay, and these toys that were being sold, it produced a whole bunch of money, and most definitely it had an impact. Just like prime example, like the Batman movie that came out in 1989. Okay, that sold a lot of toys, but when they gave full creative control to Tim Burton to do Batman Returns, and they couldn't really market those toys with a movie itself, and the toy sales wasn't as large and monumental as the first one, what happened to him? He didn't produce, well, he didn't direct the next Batman movie. Now I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that went into it as well too, but I know that's like an aspect of it. Again, toy sales is very, and I mean very important. But again, I am excited. I'm curious to see how these cartoon blocks will rank. Again, I try not to be as biased as possible, so I came up with this. But further ado, let's get going.
Episodes of those radical reptiles battling the bad dudes and scarfing down the pizza. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then bum a ride on some intense trips through time with this totally new show. Bill says excellent adventures.
It all begins tomorrow.
It's Kid TV on CBS. Where kids rule.
Now, the first cartoon block we're going to talk about is going to be CBS Saturday mornings. Now, CBS, they was doing their thing, okay, for a very long time. So when we talk about category number 1, about longevity, hands down, you got to give CBS a freaking 10 out of 10. I forgot to mention, I'm going to scale it from, 1 to 10. So CBS, hands down, gets a freaking 10. Why? Because, again, they've been doing things for a very long time. You could call them the OGs, right? But, they was doing stuff in the 1980s, all right? One of the massive big shows was Garfield and Friends. I think that came out in 1988. You guys can let me know on that, right? But Garfield and Friends was a monumental show, a very big show. Garfield is like one of the most recognizable cartoons ever of all times. There's been movies about this guy. I mean, it's a lasagna eating cat. It's crazy. Another big show that they had was Muppet Babies, okay? Muppet Babies was also big too. Now, when it comes to like popularity, when it comes to some of these cartoon shows, like CBS, they had some shows, all right? They had the Back to the Future cartoon series. They had, like I previously stated, the Muppet Babies. I think they had Ace Ventura animated series. They had the Mask animated series based off of the movie. They had, what that show called? The Twisted Tales of Felix the Cat. Now, their crown jewel, their flagship cartoon show was obviously Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a cultural phenomenon. This is a main staple in pop culture. This is a big time TV show. Now, with TV ratings, there were some times where freaking CBS was actually performing better in the ratings than freaking Fox Kids, okay? And that was a big thing at the time. And again, popularity, they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Every kid wanted to eat pizza and everybody wanted to dress up as a Ninja Turtle. So when it comes to ratings and popularity with kids, I'm gonna give CBS a 7. Now, category number 3, cultural impact. Now again, CBS, they've been doing it for a long time, right? Like how I stated. But with this category, I'm also looking at how many iconic TV shows that they really have, right? How big of an impact it really lasted with the youth and, in our adult years as well too. Now, some of the shows, like I previously stated, there was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Sabrina the Teenage Witch or whatever, like those shows or whatever, right? But again, they had Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies was pretty big. Garfield and Friends is huge. And the big is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, again, I kind of feel as if, regards to that, you guys may hate me on this, but I'm gonna give CBS a 7 when it comes to cultural impact, because Ninja Turtles is literally the only thing, well, Garfield as well, but as in cultural impact, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like the only thing that was like that big and that monumental. Again, I mean, you could put Garfield on there as well too, but I mean, how many people is really going to choose Ninja Turtles over Garfield? I mean, it's a preference. Again, that's the bias kicking in a little bit, but I'm going to give CBS a 7. Now, category number 4, toy sales, hands down. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles alone is like $1 billion franchise when it comes to toys being sold, video games being made. But again, we talk about toy sales. But again, like that show is a toy-driven show. So, of course, CBS gets 10 points for that because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles alone is massive. Everybody still collects action figures pertaining to it. I mean, the toys is incredible. So with that, we get a grand total of 34 points for CBS.
You only get one Saturday morning. One place to see Doug, Recess, Pepper Ann, Hercules, and much, much more.
All right, the next cartoon block, we got to talk about Disney's 1 Saturday mornings. All right. So when it comes to longevity, I think Disney, they was going on for like 14 years, right? Because I think they launched in 97 and then they ended in 2011, because I know they went through like a rebrand, right? Because I think up until 2002 they were still being called Disney 1 Saturday morning, and then they started to be called, I think, ABC Kids, right? You guys will correct me on that. But longevity wise, you got to give them at least 9 points. At category number 2, TV ratings and popularity with the kids. So some shows that was pretty popular when it came to, you know, Disney's channel or whatever, they did have freaking the Hercules animated series. They also have freaking, of course, a classic, Recess. Recess is one of their biggest shows, if not their biggest show. If I'm being honest with you guys, I mean, I don't know, I got to double back on the ratings on that, but Recess is a really huge show. Now, I will say this about Disney, like, I feel as if they kind of focus more with slice of life, kind of comedy type of cartoons, you know, when it came to the Disney Channel stuff. But yeah, they had Recess. They had, I think that show is called The Weekenders or whatever. They also had that show. They also had Pepper Ann. So again, like, you know, just to reiterate, like, some of those shows is more slice of life comedy. Like, they didn't really do action pertaining to Disney. So TV ratings wise, no, they didn't really dominate it that much when it comes to the ratings when it came to these other cartoon blocks. And the popularity, you know, again, you know, Recess was huge. Like, they had a movie, which is a phenomenal movie, but those other shows, you know, I thought it was whatever. So basically, like, for that, I definitely got to give it 7 points. Now, category number 3, cultural impact. So again, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm like bagging all over Disney's cartoon blocks, man, but I mean, cultural impact, I don't know. I feel as if they didn't really have a really huge cultural impact. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm sounding like a hater when it comes to Disney Saturday morning cartoons, okay? I'm not talking about Disney Channel original movies, because that, they're goated for that. But when it came to like their Saturday morning cartoons, I don't know, like cultural impact wise, I don't know. I mean, I think The Weekenders might have been like something really big, but to me, that might be a show that people don't really know, forget about. I don't know. Does it really have a big impact, appeal? Like again, like iconic shows, like when you hear Disney pretending to their Saturday morning cartoons, only show, at least for me, I just think of Recess. And to me, Recess isn't as dominating and as huge as some of these other cartoon shows I previously talked about, and which I am going to talk about in other cartoon blocks. So for that, I'm gonna give Disney at least 6 points. Category number 4, we gotta go with the toy sales. Now again, Disney is known for selling a whole bunch of merch, but pertaining to these cartoon shows, I'm not sure if they was really selling a lot of toys. Now you could probably say maybe Hercules, maybe Sabrina. Now Recess, was Recess even releasing freaking toys pertaining to the show? Probably. You know, that sounds like a silly question to ask, but again, that show wasn't driven by selling toys, you know, like Recess was not driven. It wasn't that type of show, is what I'm trying to say. Now the other shows, Fillmore, Sabrina was on there as well too, The Weekenders, again, those are shows that, like, those shows wasn't freaking driven to sell toys. So again, for that, I'm gonna give Disney 6 points. Disney got a grand total of 28 points. Crazy, right?
I'm Zach.
I'm Trini. I'm Kimberly.
I'm Billy. And we're the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Get ready to party with us all morning long next Saturday.
We're going to be here hosting all of your favorite Fox shows.
Let's mix it up.
And that's not all. What's next?
Have we got an incredible surprise for you?
Another all-new episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers after X-Men next Saturday morning.
Right here on Fox.
All right, so the next big major cartoon block, we got to talk about Fox Kids. Now, category number 1, longevity, right? So Fox Kids, I think it started back in 1990 and it ended in 2002. So that only give it a 12-year run. So for longevity, I'm going to give it only 7 points pertaining to that, because talking about these 4 cartoon blocks, that is by far the shortest. Even though it's by only, like a year or two, it's the shortest running cartoon block as of right now. So that gets a 7. Now, when it comes to TV ratings and popularity with kids, again, Fox Kids is goated, all right? Like, they are top tier. They the ones that really, you can say, put action cartoon shows on the map, right? And of course, a lot of their shows was just freaking monumental. But the ratings at times during, you can say, the peak years of cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons from like 92 to 1995, the viewership was by the millions. I think they was averaging at one point in time, like, I want to say like 5 to 7 million. Okay, when it comes to viewership, when it comes to these freaking cartoon blocks, and that was freaking incredible. But some noteworthy shows, again, they got Bobby's World, all right? Killer Tomatoes, From Outer Space. You got obviously the X-Men animated series, the Spider-Man animated series, Batman the animated series, of course, Power Rangers. Like, I mean, like, wow. Freaking Digimon from like the late 90s to the early 2000s, like, bro. And I was a huge Digimon fan, just to let you guys know, by the way. But like, yo, popularity when it comes to kids, again, TV ratings, they was going crazy. Again, millions and millions. Like, shows now, cartoons now, obviously would never see that type of viewership, obviously. But maybe not even streaming numbers, they'll see that type of viewership. But yeah, in popularity, I mean, it was unavoidable, okay, when it comes to these cartoon shows that Fox Kids was just putting out there for us to enjoy. So for that, hands down, they get a 10. Cultural impact when it comes to Fox Kids is freaking monumental, man. Like, shows like X-Men and freaking Spider-Man, the animated series, was freaking huge, man. Like, it introduced a lot of kids to Marvel Comics if they wasn't familiar with it already, right? I mean, Power Rangers, yo, like, come on. Power Rangers is monumental. Like, Power Rangers, every kid wanted to be a Power Ranger, all right? We saw the movie in 1995. We dressed up as Power Rangers when it was Halloween time. It was massive. It was huge. Adults was watching it. Teenagers was watching it. Little kids was watching it, all right? Freaking Spider-Man Unlimited, you know, that did good. Digimon in the tail end of the 90s and the early 2000s, like, bro, Digimon was big too. Like, everybody, you know, it was the whole Digimon and Pokemon thing. I was more of a Digimon guy, but but like, just impact to this day. Like, again, we still reminisce and talk about, you know, the X-Men animated series, Spider-Man, freaking Power Rangers. Yo, Power Rangers still going on to this day, man. Like, what is, like 28, 25 seasons at this point now? But cultural impact is huge, man. Like those shows alone is freaking pop culture. I mean, the Batman animated series is probably regarded as one of, if not the best freaking animated show of all time, cartoon wise, let alone superhero cartoon shows. Is freaking one of the best, because the Batman animated series, it did something so different. It, like, the storylines and plot lines that they was talking about and showcasing to kids was huge. Okay, it was very, very huge and very, very monumental. But again, cultural impact, these shows alone, like, just put Fox Kids on a different freaking pedestal, like, definitely. So hands down, they get a 10 for cultural impact. Category number 4, toy sales. Now, you know, I don't want to keep, you know, bashing the same thing, but when we talking action cartoons and it's based off of superheroes, what you think's gonna happen? Toys, toys, toys. The merch was insane. All right, people still collect action figures to this very day, man. I think in '94, Power Rangers was like the #1 kids like watch show ever in that year. And then what you think they selling? Toys, merch, Megazords, like every freaking thing, man. Like, so Fox Kids out of the gate, they was driven by toy sales, and they was selling a whole bunch of toys. Like, everything evolved around these shows pertaining to selling toys. So for that, they get a 10. So if you add up all these points for Fox Kids, that is 37 large, baby. 37 large. All right. Again, it can't be freaking reiterated how big and how monumental Fox Kids was and still is to this day. We still make videos about it. We still talk about it. And we still watch a lot of those cartoons to this day. It's crazy.
Hey, what do you got there, a rabbit?
It's a Pokemon.
A what?
It's a new show that follows ours on Kids WB.
Cute little guy.
Well, looks can be deceiving.
Oh, please. You're trying to tell me that this little...
Told you.
No kidding.
Catch an all-new Pokémon this weekend after Batman Beyond on Kids WB.
Now, the last cartoon block we're going to talk about is Kids WB. Now, honestly, this is my personal favorite. But when it comes to longevity, all right, Kids WB was running for 13 years. They started in 1995 and they ended back in 2008. And that was a sad day. But for that, I got to give them 8 points for longevity. Again, that was a pretty good long time that they was running for. Now, when it comes to TV ratings and popularity with kids, it's funny because when Kids WB first aired, like they first Saturday when they aired in 1995, they were in last place when it comes to the TV ratings. Okay, now they didn't have, like at the time, a juggernaut show, but when they got their hands on Pokemon back in 1999, everything changed. All right, Pokemania, okay? Everybody and their mama was watching Pokemon. And I'm not gonna lie, again, I'm a Pokemon hater because I'm a Digimon type of guy, but they theme songs was riding. Pokemon got like the best freaking theme songs, if I'm being honest. Like, you guys already know that. But the TV ratings was freaking going through the roof. Popularity, phenomenal when it comes to Pokemon, all right? Other shows that they had, freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! They had freaking Shaolin Showdown, Jackie Chan Adventures, Mucho Lucho. I mean, yo, like the list goes on and on and on when it comes to Kids WB. Animaniacs, they got their hands back on freaking the Batman animated series. I think it was the new Batman animated series. They had the Superman animated series, which is a really good show, by the way. But like, Kids WB was going crazy. Static Shock, like they was going crazy. Like Kids WB was going crazy. Like when it comes to popularity with kids and TV ratings, like they was goated, they was doing their thing. And for that, I gotta give Kids WB 9 points. Now for cultural impact when it comes to Kids WB, I think they're pretty up there with Fox Kids, man, because you know at the end of the day, Kids WB was Fox Kids' is like #1 main competitor. Like Kids WB came out because of that, and freaking they took back a lot of their shows from Fox Kids because you know Fox Kids, they Warner Bros was producing them, but that's besides the point. But Kids WB when it comes to cultural impact, it was monumental. Like freaking with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like I think the #1 card trading game ever. If I'm being honest with you guys, like yo, Yu-Gi-Oh! Was so big and monumental. Like I still got my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards to this freaking day, booster packs and all, bro. But like Yu-Gi-Oh! Was big. Like I remember when I was in middle school, man, and people were like buying Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards off of each other or trying to duel and trying to trade. Like, yo, it was massive. Pokemon, don't get me started with Pokemon. Like, you guys already know, Pokemon is still a main big franchise to this very single day. All right, the games, toys, like, I mean, bro, Pokemon, it's incredible. I mean, it's like Power Rangers when it comes to just everlasting. All right, everlasting. And everybody wanted to play the games. Everybody wanted to dress up like Pokemons, or they wanted Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And yo, how can I forget Pinky and the Brain? That was a big show. Animaniacs, Freakazoid, freaking I mean, yo, like incredible, phenomenal, like cultural impact, man. Kids WB, like from the really the late 90s and early 2000s, like Kids WB had the game on lock. They had it on Smash, man. And it's to this day, like it still shows we talk about. It shows that we still watch. Like some of these shows is like some of like the highest rated shows of all time. And again, like I gotta give Kids WB a 10 for that reason. Now when it comes to toy sales, like they had shows like I think they had Baby Looney Tunes, right? Freakazoid, Animaniacs. Now those wasn't really selling toys. Again, you know, they had the Batman animated series. Batman was selling toys. Superman was selling toys. But I would say like their biggest two money makers was obviously Yu-Gi-Oh! And goddamn Pokemon. Pokemon is like $1 billion franchise. Okay, the amount of Pokemon toys, action figures, figurines being sold, the card games as well too, the video games, the merch is monumental. Also too with Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, #1 card trading game. All right, they didn't have action figures, but they had cards. That was freaking goated as well too. But I will say, you know, that's really all they had, you know. So for that reason alone, I'll give it 8 points. And Kids WB have a grand total of 35 points. So looking back on everything, yeah, we had to rank them. Disney sits at 4. All right. CBS is at 3. Kids WB is at 2. And Fox Kids, the Holy Grail, is at number 1. But you guys let me know, like, what were you guys' favorite cartoon shows growing up? Do you still watch these cartoon shows to this day? How do you guys feel about this ranking? You guys let me know in the comments down below. How would you rank them? I'm very interested, man. Like, I just want to talk, all right? But thank you guys for watching. As always, I'm out.